Hello and welcome to Whiskey and Wargaming. I'm Patrick and I'm joined today as ever by Owen. Hi Owen.
Hey, how's it going? How are you doing, Patrick?
Yeah, good. Excited to get into our first Crusade match.
Yeah, delighted. All the talk that we've had now and the videos, the kind of bringing us to this point, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited too.
Yeah, excited or petrified. I'm not really sure which after my track record so far with Tyranids at 500 points, but we'll see how this goes. So we've already rolled up our mission and we've done a lot of the first steps. We've already determined the attacker and defender and put down the objectives. But I'll talk you through what we've got for the mission today. So we're using something, and it's from the new Crusade book, The Plague Purge, and it's called the Tech Relic. And how it works is that there's 4 objective markers on the board, and these are placed down by us, and we've already done this. It was started with the attacker. I got the attacker role here. So the first one I placed down was this number 1 here. And then Owen placed down number 2, I placed down number 3, he placed down number 4. And these objectives represent a tech relic that may be underneath them. And we have an action that we can perform with one of our units. Now, what if it's an infantry unit, they complete the action at the end of a turn. If it's another type of unit, then they complete the action at the beginning of your next command phase. And if there's 4 objective markers on the board, when the action's completed, you roll a dice. If there's 4 on the board, you need a 5 or higher, and if it's a 5 or higher, a 5 or a 6, when there's 4 on there, then it's counted as uncovered, and that way the unit that's done it has picked it up. All the rest of the objective markers disappear off the board, and that is a tech relic. Now it's the job of whoever's got it to try and hold on to it for the rest of the match, because basically at the end of a match, whoever's holding it is going to get 90 points, whoever's in control of it at that time. It could be that it's not uncovered at all, and then it works at whoever's holding the most amount of these objective points is going to get the points. But we'll talk you through that if we get into it. So if there's 3 left on the board, we roll a 4 or higher, and then it's uncovered. If there's 2 left on the board, it's 3 or higher. And then if there's only 1 left, we know that's a tech relic. So it's just an auto pass to pick it up. But it's still got to be done as the action, as we described before. So it's a pretty exciting mission. Not sure how it's going to go, although I have my feelings. But we'll go over our teams right now. You've picked this deployment zone over here, haven't you, Owen?
Yes, so I'm taking the, I was going to say red side, but I think they're actually both red sides. Yes, I've taken this deployment over here.
Great. Well, do you want to go over your army? And it's from the new codex, isn't it?
So everything is from the new codex. You're going to see a lot of new accessories and stuff added onto some of my units from the codex. Yeah, so right now we're looking at 2 units of witches. These are standard witches, nothing fancy on them. We've also got the Cabalite Warriors armed with a blaster. To our right, we have the Archon, who has the Dungeon Blade, and he's also being given Ancient Evil. It's a reroll of wounds and reroll of hits and wounds. So yeah, he's quite effective in the combat phase. Over to our left, then we have the Succubus. She's armed with the Triptych Whip. So she's got a few special abilities there. Combat drugs give her +1 attack.
Sorry, what was that weapon called?
The Triptych Whip.
I didn't hear that. Say that again, please.
I'm not going to.
Sorry.
It's a bit of a tongue twister. Triptych Whip. That is, yeah, that weapon's insane. It's like hits on 2s and a wounds on 2s, and I think she gets like 10 attacks after she takes some drugs. Yeah, so she can really, and it's like 2 damage now, so it really can pump out the pain. Over then behind them, we have 2 raiders. Now these are the guys I don't think this is competitive at all. I think this is just, we're playing Crusade. This is a lot of fun. Raiders are actually my favorite unit for Druhkari, and I've after given them basically I've given them everything that they can get. So I pumped a lot of points into these raiders. These raiders are normally 85 points and they're costing me 105 points. I didn't equip them with the splinter racks. I don't really have that much shooting in my army and plan to, so I didn't see the point in that. But they've got everything from the shock prow, the grizzly trophies, chain snares. So we're really going to see what these guys can do. I'm hoping to kind of give them a test out and see which ones work. And maybe for Crusade it's a bit of fun, but it's good to kind of try these things out. There's a few extra things they can do anyway, and just makes the models a bit more fun to play with. So yeah, I'm going to give them a go. So yeah, essentially that's my army.
Nice. Well,
All 500 points.
I'll go over mine.
I will say as well, the combat drugs now, I think they have to be allocated before the game. So because we're doing Crusade, they're going to be fixed. So what I've done is I've given the witches, the 2 units of witches, their combat drugs. They just roll for them. So, but when they roll, they get to roll 2 dice, and they get 2 combat drugs. So they could get some ones that they need, or they could get some ones that they don't necessarily need. But I mean, two over 1 is always nice.
Okay.
Yep. And I will, yeah, and also the witches are on Cult of Strife, so they all get fight first, and the rest of the boys are Blackheart. So there's a few extra moves in there that you'll see throughout the game, but it doesn't make too much of a difference to them right now, other than they get their power from pain chart +1. There's some stuff with the real space raiders that it really affects, but for now you're just really going to be looking at the rerolls on 1 hit roll per unit, and also everything in the Blackheart is +1 on the power from pain chart.
Okay. So I'll go over my Tyranids now. So I've got a patrol detachment of the Tyranids, and I've taken the Kronos. So that means that they get to re-roll 1s if they didn't move in the shooting phase. You'll see that it's slight. If you've watched our other video, which I'll link in the description and put a card up, you'll see that in our pre-planning I have changed my list slightly from the pre-planning. Just giving another bit of a thought about what I'm going to take here. So what I've got here is some Tyranid warriors. They're just standard loadout, apart from one of them that's got a barbed strangler on it. That's the bio cannon. Then I have got my Neurothrope as my warlord. Now, to save on requisition points, because that's how it works in the Crusade, I haven't taken any warlord traits or anything else on him. I've got a unit of just standard loadout Hormagaunts. I've got a Lictor, standard again, and I've got a unit of Ripper Swarm. Then I've got my Exocrine, and my Exocrine has got the adaptive biology on them. So he's got Dermic Symbiosis. So what this means is that he essentially gets a 5-up Feel No Pain, and, or is it a 5-up or is it a 6-up? I'll just double check that.
I believe it's a 5-up Feel No Pain.
Yeah, no, sorry, it's not a Feel No Pain. It's an invulnerable save. So
invul save.
Yeah, he's got a 5-up invul save, and the biggest thing about it is that when he gets bracketed, you essentially double his wounds when determining what track to use from the bracketing. So it can be really quite powerful. That so, for example, if he had 6 wounds left, essentially he'll have 12 wounds left when determining what track you take from his chart. So that's why it's really powerful on these guys. They're very hard to bracket. So yeah, that's my list. I will mention about the command points in here, because we've got a combat patrol size that we're playing here. We start off with 3 command points each. However, I've got 1 Crusade point, and that's because I've given my Exocrine a adaptive biology. So I use 1 Crusade point on him, whereas Owen's used 4 on his because of the different weapons and relics and stuff that he's given them. So how it works in Crusade is that for every 2 points of difference you get an extra Crusade point, but it's rounded down. So because he's on 4 and I'm on 1, it's going to mean that I get an extra command point. So I'm on 4 command points to start the game. He's on 3 command points to start the game. So we'll come back after we've done the deployment. Owen will roll for his combat drugs. and we'll come back to determine who's going to go first. So see you in a few minutes. Welcome back. So we've done our deployment. Would you like to go over yours first, Owen?
Yeah. So very quickly, my 2 raiders are down here hiding and obscuring.
Okay, and everything's in
Trying to avoid any shots that might be coming in first turn.
And for your transports, you've got everything inside them, right?
Yeah, everything inside the transports.
And what did you roll for your combat drugs with your witches?
Oh yeah, for the combat drugs, I don't think I could have rolled a better roll. I got +1 strength, +1 toughness on one unit, and on the other unit I got the +2 movement and +1 attack.
Nice.
So overall, just decent drugs.
Okay, and I've just placed all mine behind this thing here, hoping that I'm not going to get shot off the board on the first turn, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and let's roll off to see who gets to start the game. We are using the match play rules as in for the grand tournament, even though it's Crusade. So whoever rolls the highest is going first. We're not deciding between it. So rolling 6.
3.
So as we discussed, I will be going first. I'm not even sure that I wanted that roll. Okay. Well, Tyranids, turn 1, command phase. Nothing's going to be happening in the command phase. So I'll move straight onto the movement. I am not going to be in range if I move anything to see any of his units. All I'm going to do is put myself in a bit of a problem here. Question is, who do I want to sacrifice? I think it might be the Hormagaunts. All I've done for my movement is just move these Hormagaunts out here to be on the point. Because I can't shoot with any of the other ones, it seems pointless putting them in any kind of harm's way. And I'm just going to do the action with them, which is going to be completed at the end of my turn. So, as we discussed, there's going to be no shooting because I can't see anything to shoot because he's in obscuring with everything. There will actually be no psychic phase here either because I've equipped the Neurothrope with the Horror, which is an offensive spell, so I need to be able to see him. Might seem really silly not giving him Catalyst, but the reason for that is that I want to save that for my Broodlord, and it seems pointless giving it to both of them, and I didn't want to put my Broodlord, as I discussed in the planning video, I didn't want to put my Broodlord in my list right now, because otherwise he'd have had to have been my Warlord for the campaign, and I didn't want that. So there's no Psychic phase, there's going to be no shooting phase, there's going to be no charge phase, there's going to be no fight phase, straight onto morale, there is no morale, so it is the end of my turn. But because they are an infantry unit, I will be rolling right now to see if I've uncovered that thing. So on a roll of a 5 or a 6, it has been uncovered. So come on, dice. No. Okay, so that isn't uncovered. So what happens is we take that on off the board. End of Tyranids turn 1. All I have done in this turn was move my Hormagaunts up to the command point here. Did the action and it was unsuccessful, so that is not the relic that they're looking for. And further than that, nothing else has been done because it was really silly for me to take anything out of a hiding place. So it's going to go straight into Owen's turn 1.
Turn 1 Druhkari. I'm now going to be basically focusing on getting these points and going to try and cover the relic myself. I think the Tyranids not being able to find that relic in the first round is massive because it means essentially these are going to be easier for me to uncover. They're also closer to me, and it means that he's going to have to draw his army closer to me. So I'm pretty happy about that. I think you might have put too many eggs in one basket there, hoping that you're going to get it on that first roll. So yeah, now the chances are higher for me to score it. Either way, I'm going to start my movement, and I'll be back to you shortly. Back after the movement phase, I haven't actually really moved too much at all. I've just taken out my witches and moved them onto the point. Because of the way Patrick's first turn went, I feel that I can actually just maybe, hopefully on a 4 up, I'll be able to uncover this relic. And if it's not here, then obviously we have a 1 and 2. So that we can check next. So if it isn't this one, he's obviously going to be getting it with his Hormagaunts in the next round potentially. But I'll have a charge range, so I feel like I'm in a pretty comfortable position with the guys. There's no point in pushing up and risking anything or getting shot by his Exocrine.
I can't actually get there. They've got 8-inch movement. There's no way I can get there because I can't advance and do an action.
So yeah, I might actually be in a good position here just to kind of play defensive. Hopefully the game doesn't we see a bit more action in the next few rounds, but for now we're going to take it easy and play defensive. Rounding up that round, as you've seen, very little has happened. We've just moved the witches up. They've tried to uncover the relic, which have failed, and now it's just going to be a game of who gets the relic first.
So I've got nothing to do in my command phase for turn 2, so I'll see you back after the movement. Back after Tyranids' turn 2 movement, the Exocrine has just popped up here a little bit, although he's still not touching, as we've discussed, he's not touching the ruins there, so he's still in obscuring, but he's close enough to the Neurothrope that the Neurothrope's going to get Lookout Surf from him. The Neurothrope's just moved out a little bit. He's not close enough to actually be able to see, I don't think. I'll just double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to go for obscuring. Yeah. Yeah, there's no way you can actually see to do any spells at the moment. But he just popped out a little bit. Then my Hormagaunts swam forward a bit. Now, because they advanced, they couldn't do that point. My Tyranid warriors popped out, and my Lictor came down from Deep Strike, and he is doing the action on that point to uncover the point. Because they advanced, there's going to be no charging coming from them, unless I've got a stratagem to do so, but I think they want to stay where they are anyway, try and protect the Lictor a little bit. So that's going to be pretty much the end of my turn, because as I discussed, there's no way the Tyranid warriors did advance and they've got assault weapons, but they just can't see because this thing in the middle is obscuring. The Exocrine cannot see, he's behind obscuring, the Neurothrope can't see, so I'll skip through my things. So no psychic, no shooting, no charge, no fight, no morale, but it is going to go to the roll-off now, and it is. Because there's 2 left on the board, I need a 3 or higher, and it is here. So hopefully I'm going to be able to get this. We will see. It is. So this point here is going to disappear off the board. It is uncovered, it is here, but I haven't yet picked it up. So at the moment I'm in control of it, but I will need to perform another action if I actually want to pick it up. But it does look in quite a good position for me. Just to go over what the action is to pick it up, it's something called a escort tech, and you start that at the beginning of the end of your command phase, and it's completed at the end of your movement phase. So in theory, Owen's not going to be able to move up there and do that action on the same turn, but he could stop me from doing it. So it might be just a fight for this centre for the rest of the battle. Tyranids turn 2. So I just moved some things out. I dropped the Lictor down from Deep Strike, who performed the action, and because he is infantry, it was completed. And we found that the tech that we're looking for is right here. So now it's just going to be a battle for this last piece of tech on the board, and it's going to go into Druhkari turn 2.
Starting Druhkari turn 2, I see that everything is kind of changed now. The center point is going to be the focus point for this battle, as the relic has been revealed. Back now after Druhkari's movement phase, I've decided to go on the offense, and I've pushed up a lot of my stuff up the field. So as you can see that here at the top, the Raider has advanced. I used a stratagem to give it an automatic 8 inches. I can charge now with my Raider as of the new Power and Pay chart. So as of turn 2, all Druhkari can advance and charge. I can technically do that in turn 1 with the Raider, but as you saw in turn 1, we didn't really have too much movement. So yeah, potentially I've got I think it's a 6-inch charge here. So hopefully I can make that into the Neotrope. Tag him up. The same down here. The Raider hasn't advanced this time, but he has I'm hoping to get a charge in there too. And as you can see with the center, this is where all the combat's going down. I've advanced my witches up the field, same with the succubus, and these guys are going to be able to charge into the combat now as it's turn 2. They don't get the benefit of charging in turn 1, but because we actually didn't make any movement in turn 1, I feel like that worked in their favor for that purpose, that they can actually charge essentially on their own turn 1, the turn that matters. So yeah, we're going to see a lot of combat here, a lot of dead Tyranids, I reckon, and hopefully a little bit less dead witches. So yeah, I'm going to move on now from the movement and go into my shooting phase.
Cool.
So starting with the Raider, he is going to target into the Tyranid warriors with his Dark Lance. Now he does get a reroll because of Blackheart on the chance that I miss, which I do. So I get a free reroll, which I miss anyway. So no shots off from the Raider today. So going into the next unit, I'm going to start with the witches. They're going to throw a grenade into the liquor, and they're going to put the rest of their shots into the liquor as well. So the grenade is a D6 shots. So let's see how I do. 3 shots.
3 shots into the lictor.
Into the lictor, yeah. 1 miss, 2 hits. I believe no wounds. So now going in with the splinter pistols that the girls have, and they get a single shot each. All hit, wounding on 4s though. 2 wounds, no AP into the liquor.
Okay, well the lictor has an ability which is chameleonic skin. I'll just have to check. Receiving benefits of cover. He's actually not receiving the benefits of cover. So that's what I wanted to check, because you're within the piece as well.
So within, yep.
Yeah. So he's not actually going to be receiving it. So he fails both of them.
Just a single wound each.
Okay.
And now going in with the second unit of witches. I'm going to do the same again. But I think I might throw that grenade into your Hormagaunts.
Okay.
So, splinter shots into the liquor. All hit. Only 1 wound.
Okay. Saving on a 5-up.
Would have been nice to finish him off.
Oh, just 1 on him.
Only 1 on them. Grenade now. You do have, is it 10 Hormagaunts?
10. So it's minimum of 3.
Minimum of 3.
Yep.
3 anyway. One of them miss.
Only toughness of 3.
Yeah, so wounding on, well, 1 wound. Minus 1 AP.
I can't save it, so one of them's going to die. Take this one off here. In fact, before I decide I'm going to take him off, I'm just going to check my synapse range. Ah, they're fine. Got 24-inch synapse range, I believe.
Plenty.
Yeah.
So I believe that is all my shooting, so I'm going to go straight into the charge phase.
Okay.
So ended the charge phase. I've managed to get all my witches into combat with the Hormagaunts. My succubus has managed to push up onto the back of the Hormagaunts as well. The Raider also pushed in and charged into the Hormagaunts. And our Raider up here has charged the Neotrope and used the Shock Pro stratagem, dealing 1 mortal wound. So we're going to go on to the fight phase now. Hopefully we can do a little bit more damage. I know the Raiders are kitted out a little bit better for combat. I've given them a few sneaky treats, so let's see how they get on. So into the fight phase, we do have to start with the witches or the succubus, as they do have fight first. So yeah, I'm going to speed things up, and I'm going to start with my succubus and see how she gets on. She's got +1 attack, and she's got an extra 3 attacks. So she does have in total 10. Now she does have blood dancer, so any 6s to hit will give me an additional 2 attacks. So attacking now into the Hormagaunts. Hitting on 2s, a few 1s there. Oh, there was 2 6s there. So 2 additional attacks each. And now wounding on 2s. So 8 wounds. These are -3.
I can't save them.
Yeah, she's going to make short work of these guys.
Certainly has.
Consolidating with my succubus, her 3 inches. And I'm going to pile in with my witches. I think only 3 of them will be in combat, right? 1, 2.
Half an inch of half an inch. It looks like it's going to be 2 of them. Because I don't think this
Okay,
one's...
2 of them. +1 strength.
You'll finish it off.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just trying to count how many attacks. So it's 6 attacks.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to avoid being in with the lictor.
Yeah, no, that's actually my plan to get you in.
Timestamp 26,
So 6.
27 is a timestamp, so just make a statement and roll that so you don't have to bother with that.
My witches have consolidated, or piled in, to the Hormagaunt, and hopefully we'll finish them off. There's only 2 of them getting a strike in, but we'll have to see how it goes. There's going to be 6 attacks in total. Or sorry, I think they get an extra attack as their weapons, so 8 attacks. Ooh, a few misses there. Wounding on 3s because they have the +1 strength. Rerolling 1s because of succubus. Okay, these are all -2 AP.
Yep, so the Hormagaunts dead.
Okay.
They did their job.
And they will consolidate towards the nearest enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Do these guys get to pile in? Because they charged.
They can pile in, but they're not going to get an attack on the
They
lictor.
can't fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's no problem. So I will be piling in these witches. I'm planning to just surround this liquor. So if he wants to run away, he can, but he's going to have to pay that extra CP. So I'm just trying to make his life a little bit more difficult. And I'll take the hits on it.
You will, but because
Raider will
you're
also
charging first.
consolidate his 3 inches because he never got to, or pile in. And I think the last thing to fight now will be the Raider with 6 attacks.
Okay.
The 6 attacks are the one of the pieces of equipment I bought for the chain snares.
Okay.
So hitting on 4s.
Nice.
Oh, actually, hitting on 3s, I believe. Not that it makes any difference.
Okay, toughness 4.
Wounding probably on 3s as well. 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds.
Okay. I've got a free up and vulnerable save. And I make all of them.
Yep. So unfortunately no damage there. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I've taken off the Hormigons, so I do hold the point. So quick wrap up for the round. Druhkari
could I fight back? Would that be alright?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so the Lictor is going to fight you. There's 2 different units there, isn't there? I'm going to fight the one that's closest to the thing.
Yeah, the ones that don't have the toughness, I imagine.
Yeah. So he gets 3 attacks, unless. Yeah, okay, he gets shooting as well. Yep, 3 attacks. And yeah, I'm going to use a rending clause. Every time I get a 6, it's improving the AP. Not that it's going to make any difference, but
so these guys all have invul saves, so
yeah, it makes no difference because it's D2. It's 2 damage or 1 damage. It makes no difference which one you use.
Yeah. Now that I have no feel, no pains, it will make no difference.
No, won't at all. Yeah, so I'll just roll my 3 attacks. So he's going to be hitting on 2s. Fails one of them. And wounding on strength 6. So he's going to be wounding on 2s too as well.
2s.
Okay, so 2 wounds. Straight to your invul.
Saves 1 and takes 1.
Okay, so one of them
one
dies.
which will go down.
I was debating whether to use a fight again, but I don't think it's worth it. Not for free CP. Then the Eurothrope is going to go, and he's hitting on a 4, and he'll be wounding on a 5. He only gets 1 attack. It's claws and teeth. Nope, doesn't. So yeah, go ahead and wrap up your round.
So recap on the round. My witches have managed to take the point and they're holding it. They've locked the Licker in combat, so we'll see what he decides to do this turn with the Licker. If he's going to try pull him out, it's going to cost him 2 CP for that stratagem.
Yeah.
So Lictor. So what is it? Licker? That's from Resident Evil, I think. It's like a totally
Liquor
different
is
zombie.
drink. Like whiskey.
Liquor.
That's liquor.
What have I been calling him? Lictor?
No, you've been calling him liquor, and that's a drink.
Oh, I've been calling him Licker?
Like
Sorry,
whiskey
or
yeah, something. It is whiskey.
So yeah,
war game, it's so loud.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm happy he's tied up. We'll have to see what you can kind of pull out of that one. I'm a little bit worried about the Tyranids being quite close to the succubus, but I do have the lookout Cerebral. Was unable to do any damage to the Neurotrope here in combat, other than the mortal wound on the charge. This guy's so tough to take down with the 3-up save. It's really, really powerful. So I'm really, really hoping that I'll get 1 or 2 lucky shots in there. I do have a few surprises left inside the radar when they pop out in my next turn. So yeah, I'm gonna pass it over to you, Patrick.
Tyranids turn 3. Now, I am debating here to whether to use a stratagem, because it's a recon mission. There are certain stratagems that can be used, and one of those is that I could actually start to perform that action and complete that action, so he's holding on to that command point, and I could still do it even though it's an engagement range, but it cost me 2 CP to do. Now, he will die because there's no way of him moving out of there. So the only benefit I'd have to doing that really is to be able to move it. Because when he dies, it goes within... Let me just double check that, in fact.
I think it's within 3 inches.
I thought it was within 1 inch of a model. Yeah. So it doesn't matter whether it's in your engagement range or not. It'd be set up within 1 inch, but it's within, not wholly. So potentially I could just actually move this out a bit. Now, not to say that you couldn't get it, but the position it's in at the moment isn't a great position for me, because you're easily able to defend that, whereas potentially I could cause some problems. Because he is going to die, I know that. Or I could just move him out of combat and use that stratagem to be able to do that. Desperate Breakout or whatever it's called. And then get some shooting in at the Witches. But I think I'm going to try that stratagem. So I'm going to pay 2 command points for it, and it's a stratagem from the recon missions of the Crusade book. And it is called Selfless Prosecution. Use this stratagem in any phase. Select 1 unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, that unit can perform an action within engagement range of enemy units. Even if the action specifies enemy units cannot be within range of the same objective. So he's going to do that. Then he's going to do the action on that, which is completed at the end of my movement phase. So he's not going to be able to move, but he still will be able to shoot and fight. So that's what he's going to be doing. Then going into my movement, and I'll see you back after the movement. Back after the Tyranids turn 3 movement phase. And what I've done here is move the X-Crin up so he's just touching these ruins here so he can see through the window. Although he won't be able to shoot the raider. I made the decision not to actually move a Neurothrope out of combat, even though I would have been able to get the raider, because if he falls back he can't do his psychic action. And because of the way our Crusade works is that I need to achieve his agendas. So this is really why I've left him in combat. I really wanted to get the Succubus so he wasn't getting a lookout sir by being the closest to him, but it just wasn't possible through good positioning from the Druhkari there. So they've just moved up slightly. I've dropped the X-Crin in there. As I discussed before, I use a stratagem to actually pick up, so it actually gets completed at the end of the movement phase. So I'm just going to remove this from the board for the moment, because now it is actually being held by that Lictor. He will die, I know he'll die, but my reasoning was just to be able to move it a little bit further up towards my guys a little bit. I'm not sure it's the most sensible thing to do, but it is what it is. Okay, so I'm going to go into the psychic phase. And the Neurothrope is going to do... Yeah, I'll start with the... what do you call it? Forget the
Smite.
name. Smite, that's the one, thank you. Smite into... Ooh, and it actually fails.
Oh.
I'm not so bothered about it failing. I just want to be able to cast 1.
Yeah.
So,
Now you're rolling like me today.
yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do the horror. Now, this goes off on a 6, and I probably will re-roll this if it fails.
Right.
This one goes off.
No worries.
Yeah, no problem at all. So, yeah, that goes off. He's actually -1 to hit now, the Raider is, and -1 to the leadership. Not that I'm too bothered about it. It's all about just making sure that he's got his agendas achieved. And then we'll go into the shooting phase. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pay 1 CP to say that the Exocrine remains stationary. Because
I believe I'm... Oh, sorry. I'm going to use a stratagem to make you pay 2 free CP for that from now on.
Okay. That's Agents of Vect you're using, right?
Yeah, I haven't managed to get it off yet, so I'm going to try use it.
Okay.
It doesn't make any difference this turn. I think your next turn there'll be 2 CP.
Okay. Makes sense. But what happens with his shooting is that if he hasn't moved, and this is what it's really good to do with him, he actually gets to shoot twice. So it's pretty powerful. And yeah, I'm still not going to be close enough to the Succubus with the Tyranid warriors, even if I do take off a Raider right now. But I will start with the Exocrine. Now I'm just going to double check whether he gets double the amount of shots or whether it's shoot twice, because then that determines if I can choose another target afterwards. Although I don't think there actually is anything I could choose. But we'll see. I also add 1 to his hit rolls, in fact, because he didn't move. And shoot his weapons, all of his weapons twice. So yeah, it's actually shooting them twice. But either way, I don't believe there's anything else I can hit because they're all in combat. The succubus is still not going to be the closest one, even if... So she's still going to be getting... Yeah, she's still going to be getting that. So I might as well just roll them together because she's still going to be getting it anyway. So he gets actually 6 with that, which is going to translate to 12. And I am going to be hitting on... It's +1 to the hitting, and I'm re-rolling 1s because of my Chronos. So I am going to be hitting... Okay, I've got a ballistic skill of 4 up, but it's going to be +1 to that. So 3 ups, re-rolling 1s.
I'm going to use lightning fast on that one.
Okay.
So back to 4.
Okay, so 4 ups, re-rolling 1s. That's pretty good. Okay. So all of those. It is at a strength of 7. What is your toughness on the raider?
6, so
Okay.
wounding on 3s.
Wounding on 3s, nice. Okay, so they all wound. It's -3 AP.
Oh, they all go through. It's invul save, but 5 up. I only saved one of them. So
And they're
he's
2
taking
damage
14
each.
damage.
2 damage
Yeah, it'd be
each as well.
14 damage.
Okay. Does he go boom boom?
On a 6 he does.
Nope.
Not today, no.
Unfortunately, there's still not going to be the closest one for the Tyranid warriors. So this is a bit of a thing that I can't actually shoot the succubus because she's not the closest unit, unless she is from... No. I'm pretty sure there's no one because she did some really good positioning there. Nope. Just not going to be able to do that. So there is no viable targets. I am going to shoot my lictor because he can shoot his flesh hooks into combat. So that's exactly
like
what he's going to do. It is. It's like a pistol, but it's more powerful than that because I can shoot it if he's in combat with somebody else as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a pretty good weapon. So I get 2 shots with that. And it's just going into the same ones he targeted last time, the one with the least toughness. So both of them hit. And they are strength of 6, so it's going to be on 2s, because it's strength user. Okay, one of them fails. And it's no AP on this.
Another one dies.
Well,
I assume it's in the unit you've already wounded?
yes, it is. It was the one with the least toughness, absolutely. Okay, so the end of the shooting phase for the Tyranids. Now I'll go into the charging phase. I'll come back after I finish charging. Back after the Tyranids charge phase, and the only things that charged in were these Tyranid warriors who decided to charge this raider in. The reason being is that charging into Succubus is almost suicide, and the Witch is pretty much the same because of their fight first ability. So it was worth me doing that first. So going into the fight phase now, because the Lictor is in combat here first, and you have got the fight first ability, that is actually going to go above the charge. So do you want to go ahead with your Witches first? You should kill the Lictor now.
I'll just quick roll it because there's just so many attacks, but I think he's dead, to be honest.
Yep.
4 attacks each. How many witches is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. 8 by 4.
What is your AP on that weapon there?
-1.
Okay, well, yeah. roll it. We'll see.
I'm not even going to count the Hectrix extra attacks. Hitting on turn 3, hitting on 2s. Wounding on 5s, though. Oh, it doesn't matter. He's dead. Sorry, some of them are wounding on 4s, some are wounding on 4s, some are wounding on 5s, but I'm pretty confident that that'll do it. They're -2 AP, they're 6s. It doesn't matter.
Nope. So he is dead. The important part is, where do I put this thing now? So it's got to be within an inch of him. So what I'm going to do is just use some of the cool things you get from battle here, and I will put it. So
this is what you paid 2 CP for.
It is, yes. Yeah, I don't know if it was totally worth it, but I haven't used very many things. So yeah, it's going to sort of go here. I'll just put it kind of like that. It's within the thing. I know it's on top of your model. In fact, let's just pull your model out and drop him back down again. Oh, has he gone on top of a building? Yes, of course he has. Oop.
Yeah. I mean, you can dump them anywhere. I'm going to move them after when it's my turn.
Are you? Are you going to pick up the thing? I'll put him back where he was just in case. Sure. Yeah, so he was there. Okay, so the lictor is dead. Okay, so now I get to go on to my Tyranid warriors. So let's check the amount of attacks that I actually get with the Tyranid warriors. I believe I get 3 attacks each. Yes, I do. They've got one of them hasn't got the Lash Whip and Bone Swords. One of them's got the Scything Talons. Yeah, you've got what's your save like on the Raider?
So I do have a 5-up invul now.
And your normal saves
my standard save is a 4.
Right. Okay, the ones that I've got, because I've got a -2 or I've got a 0, but with the 0 I can re-roll hit rolls of 1, and I haven't got more than 1 pair, so yeah, I can re-roll hit rolls of 1, or I can do the -2. I think it's better to do the -2, but the one with the biocannon actually hasn't got that on him, so I'll quick roll this, but I'll just mark it out what they've got, so let's just delete these. Why am I doing it like that? So there should be 9 coming from that one, and then another 3 from the Scything Talons. So the blue ones are the Scything Talons, so they're getting to re-roll hit rolls of 1. And the other one is the Lash Whip and Bone Sword. So I should be hitting on a 3. But re-rolling with the blue ones of 1, which I don't get any, of course. Wounding on user, and my strength is 4 against your 6 or 5 or something, so on 5s.
6, yeah.
No wounds at all. That was pretty awful. Okay, you do get to attack now with your Raider.
I will put all those attacks into the near drop.
Makes sense.
So again, he's still in full health, so he'll get his full attacks. He's got a -1 to his hitting. And as we worked out, it's actually going to bring him, he's going to be back on 4 because of the power from pain check. So 4 hits. And 2 wounds. In fact, actually, I do get to re-roll one of those hits. Let's see if I hit. No. So these are wounds, only 2 wounds. Into your near trope.
Okay.
Really need more hits than that to rely on you rolling 1s and 2s.
And he saves them. Okay, so I will be hitting back with my Neurothrope. Doesn't hit. Okay, I believe that is everything. Sorry, I was just reading there whether I think you can do the action in your turn to pick up that thing, even though I'm in range of it. Now, you can't perform any action if you're in engagement range with another unit, and that's why I had to pay the 2 CP. But some of the actions specifically say that they can't be performed if you're in if there's an enemy unit within the range of the objective. It doesn't say that with this one, unless I'm reading it wrongly. It doesn't say it. So therefore, as far as I'm working out right now, you should still be able to perform the action to pick it up, even though I'm in engagement, though I'm in range of the objective. So end of Tyranids. End of Tyranids turn 3. Yeah, so my lictor died, gave up his life to move that objective. I'm not convinced it was completely worth it, but at least it edges it a little bit closer to me. The Tyranids and warriors did absolutely nothing in combat. The Neurothrope just stayed on the board as he has done for the most things. The biggest winner here was the Exocrine that managed to kill a raider. But this is turning out to be a very tactical game so far and not completely wiping each other off the board, which is kind of interesting. So over to your turn, Owen.
Going into Druhkari's turn 3, and yeah, the game has been super interesting so far. It's nice to see that it's not just two or three units left from the Tyranids at the end of the game, and the fight's still going on. But I'm gonna have to do some movement now and kind of maneuver my troops into some positions and see where I can get.
Before you do that movement, just to remind you that if you want to do the escort tech, it's started at the end of your command phase and completed at the end of your movement phase. So if you did want to perform that, you would need to be performing that now.
Yeah, and I think it might be a good idea to do, because I'm in charge range of you, so it's really not an issue if I pick it up and charge into you, and I still will hold that point.
You will, until I'll have to kill the unit to get it off you.
You'll have to focus the unit then. So yeah, I'll go into the movement phase and I'll be back to you guys shortly. Jumping back into the game, Druhkari have pushed up more forward onto the board. I've taken my raider out of combat. I am using 2 CP to fall him back. Now he can fire and charge in this turn because of that. I've also pushed up the succubus into charge range. The witches have taken this command point, so they're now picking that up and putting it in their pockets, and that is going to be with them until they get killed. The other witches have also moved up the board. I've taken my cabinet warriors out, and they're all targeting this Exocrine, and the Archon is getting himself into position to fight with the Neurotrope as well. So yeah, that is the end of my movement. And going to be looking at doing some damage hopefully now in the shooting phase. So right into the shooting phase. First thing is going to be the Raider shooting into the Exocrine. He does get 1 shot. Now he is at a -1 to hit, I believe, in the shooting because of the HAR. So I'm hitting on a 4, which I do. Need a big roll to wound him though. Oof. Which he doesn't. I am going to re-roll this one though. For 1 CP.
I am an 8 toughness.
So I need a 4. Oh, which I don't get. So no damage there from the Raider. Now the Cabalite Warriors, they are going to pump everything into the Exocrine.
Yep.
Starting with their blaster. Does the blaster hit? It hits. And it wounds. So it is -4 AP.
What is the strength on that weapon?
8.
8. Okay. Yeah, you only needed a 4. Straight to the invul that I've got from Dermic Symbiosis, and he fails it. So how much damage is it?
D6.
Oh,
5 damage.
Nice.
The rest of the lads are going to shoot in with their rapid fire weapons. There's only 8 shots coming in.
Mm-hmm.
They're hitting on 3s. They are beside Archon though. I do believe they get to reroll once. Let me just double check. Yep, they are core and they get to reroll hits of 1. Which is handy for one of them. And wounding on 4s because of poison. So lots of 2s. Only 2 wounds, no AP into this one though.
Okay. I think he fails on both.
Oh, nice. So just 2 damage. Or 1 damage each.
Yep, so down to 5.
The Archon himself is armed with the blast pistol and he is going to target the Neurotrope. And he hits. And he wounds.
Saves it.
3 6s in a row. Yeah, I didn't know if I'd risk that one, but... Now, for the witches, they are going to shoot everything that they have into the Tyranid warriors.
Okay.
And both are going to use a grenade.
Okay.
So I think I'll fast roll these.
Is this a grenade?
So these are the grenades, yep. So 10 shots in total.
Nice.
Hitting on 3s. Wounding on
Toughness of 4.
4s. So 4 wounds, minus 1 AP.
Did you want to do the plasma grenade, by the way, from the raider? You forgot about.
Oh yes, of course, I forgot again. Yeah, please.
Yeah, well, let's finish this one off and then you can go and do that. So, what's the AP on those grenades?
Minus 1.
Minus 1. Okay, so I'm saving on 5-ups. Okay, no saves. Is it just 1 damage each?
Just 1 damage each.
Okay, well, let's just get rid of 1. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and do the whatever it's called, phantasm grenade.
Phantasm grenade, yeah. So phantasm grenade is D3 shots. So 3 shots. Hitting on 4s though. Okay, 2 hits. That's actually all that matters.
Yep, leadership of 6.
A leadership of 3 now because you are 3 inches of the raider who does have the grizzly trophies.
Okay, nice.
So 2 dice. Yeah.
So that's 2 mortal wounds.
So no, 1 mortal wound, and then the next one.
Okay. Oh, that
no
one
mortal
fails.
wounds for that one.
Okay, so
that
1
one fails.
mortal wound. Nice.
Yep. Now for the second one from the Cablite Warriors, we're also armed with the same gun.
Mhm.
D3 shots. 3 shots. Hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s. Oh, nice. So, again, it's just going to be beating your
9.
leadership.
Yep. Oh no, they were shooting into the X-Crin, aren't they?
Exocrine, yep. So 1 mortal wound.
2 mortal wounds.
2 mortal wounds. 3 mortal wounds.
Wow. Down to 1 wound left on the X-Crin.
Wow. So they really are some. I didn't know how effective they would be, but they've proven to be quite effective with the help of the Grizzly trophies.
Absolutely. I was even having a look at the sheet to see if he ignored it because he's a monster and pretty scary, but no, he didn't.
No. So yeah, I think that will be all of my shooting, and I will be just going in. Oh, sorry. You know what? There's some splinter pistols coming to the Tyranid warriors as well.
Okay.
From the remaining witches. Now there isn't the same amount of witches as before. So 1, 2, 3. There's 4 from 1 unit. In fact, this one's over here. This is not in that unit. There's 3. So it's 2 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Now hitting on 3s. Wounding on 4s because of poison. 2 wounds, no AP. Into your tier 2 warriors.
Saves
saved.
both of them.
So yeah, that will be the end of my shooting phase.
Okay.
So pretty happy with how the shooting phase went. Really impressed with the Phantasm grenade launchers. I hadn't expected to do so much more wounds, but getting the 3s was very helpful. Because when he's got a leadership of 3 that I have to beat, and with the rerolls of 1 beside the Archon, it was quite nice and actually worked out to be a lot more powerful than I expected it to be. So I'll definitely be looking at more at these Phantasm grenade launchers, and they're 5 points to throw into your army. So yeah, definitely a cool accessory to throw into the army if you got those spare points.
Yeah. And because it's a
with the help of
grenade
Prison
launch,
Trophies.
yeah, and because it's a
Yeah.
grenade launcher, it's on top of it rather than a grenade itself, which wouldn't be. So it's well worth it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So going into the charge phase. So just finished my charging, and I've got all my witches into combat with the Tyranid warriors. Some of the witches have charged into the Exocrine. Raiders also pushed themselves into the Exocrine. I'd actually planned to save a CP to use the shock prow stratagem, but I think I got greedy earlier on one of my rerolls, and I used it for that. But I didn't expect those Phantasm grenade launchers to be as effective as they were, and I didn't realize the Exocrine's leadership was actually quite low as well. So yeah, I'm basically we're looking at probably taking out this extra. All I need to do is that 1 wound. And then down in the bottom here, I've got the Archon in combat with the Neotrope with all the Kabalite warriors. These guys now have 2 attacks each, so I'm not looking to do a lot of damage. I'm just looking to do those little 1 wounds to you while if hopefully you'll. It's all about volume of attacks on this guy to just get 1 or 2 1s or 2s on your rolls and hopefully take him off the board, and I can get more points for that agenda. So jumping right into the fight phase, and I do have to start with, well, the witches because of the fight first ability. He does have points to interrupt though, so I need to be careful. I do believe I get to fight first no matter what with the witches. I don't know if can you interrupt a fight first?
Do you know, I was looking at this, and I believe I can, because it
Yeah.
isn't something that makes them ineligible of doing so. But if it was making me fight last, that's a different thing.
Yes.
But I
Yes, I
believe that it
believe.
just makes you fight first. Where it
Yep.
really comes into its own fight first is on the opponent's turn, on your turn when they're already in combat. That's where
And I have to fight.
Well, in your turn where you're already in combat, normally I would get to fight first because that's the order nowadays. But because of the fight
Right.
first ability, you would get to fight first anyway. So that's where it's really powerful. So yeah, I believe I can interrupt.
Okay. Either way, I was more worried about you interrupting and killing some Kabalite warriors, but I'm gonna go straight with the Succubus because she can just do so much damage with these weapons. And she does have her +1 attack at the moment. So with 10 attacks, striking at the Tyranid warriors, hitting on 2s, 6s. Oh wow, 6s with the, I think it's Blood Dancer is the trait. There are actually 2 more attacks each. So that's crazy amount of attacks coming in. Wounding on 2s because of poison. -3 AP, 2 damage each.
Don't believe I can save it at -3 AP. No, I can't. So they're all dead. However, the 2 with the bone swords, they actually get to stay where they are and will get to attack. However, that means, because he's the one without the bone sword, it does mean they're not actually in combat range with your Succubus, so it's up to you whether you decide to pile in or not. Consolidate with your Succubus. Are you planning to consolidate with your Succubus?
I think I will.
Okay.
I think I will.
Okay, I'm not going to be interrupting because...
Or no, there's no reason for me to. I'll be taking strikes. I'd rather my witches die than my succubus.
In fact, I may... let me see, he's on... Yeah, he's only on 2 because of... He's on 1, but he's on 2, so he'd only get 1 attack. Hitting on a 5 with the exocrine. It doesn't seem worth actually bothering to interrupt. So, yeah. I'm not going to be interrupting. Go ahead.
Okay. So I will go with the witches then next.
Mm-hmm.
And they have 4 attacks each. These witches have +1 strength, which will make no difference against the exocrine. And +1 for the Hecatrix. So, I believe they're hitting on 2s in this turn. And wounding on 5s. Rerolling 1s. If they are close enough. No, they're not. 6s are -2 AP.
And this is, sorry, into the neurophrope. Oh no, the exocrine, isn't it?
This, yeah, your big guy.
Yeah. 6 is a -2 AP. My save is 3. Okay, so I'll roll these first of all, needing 5s on them. Oh, nearly. And how much are the other ones for AP?
-1.
-1. In fact, just before I do that, I'm going to roll these because in theory I roll all the saves together. And then I'll decide if I use a command point. Yep, so no, obviously I wouldn't be, because there's no way I could save him. It was whether I'd re-roll that one, but there's no way I can save him, so he is dead. Now, death throws. On a 6, each unit within 3 inches suffers... It's not even enemy, it's each unit, but luckily it's only yours in there. So needing a 6 with
like
him...
Explosion.
Yeah. He doesn't. Alright, so he's just dead. Do you want to consolidate with your witches?
Sure.
Closest enemy model is actually the Tyranid warriors.
Oh, is it? Sorry.
Yep.
Not that it makes too much of a difference at this stage, because these guys are going to be dead. I think it's going to be 2 turns of swinging at each other here until someone dies.
Yeah. We'll see. So you've got your everything into the neurophrope.
Yeah, so everything into the neurotrope. Archon is going to go first, just because he has a more powerful weapon and might end this quicker. And he does get an extra 3 attacks. Archon is going to go into the neurotrope. He gets an extra 2 attacks because of his weapon. So 7 attacks hitting on 2s. Wounding on 4s, I believe. Oof, does reroll wounds though. Still
Nice.
lots of 1s.
3 ups. Takes 1 of them. How much damage does it do?
Flat 3 damage.
Then I'm going to re-roll that.
Yeah, it might be worth it.
And he saves it.
Now the rest of the Cabalite warriors, it's going to be 2 attacks each. So 10 attacks. Hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of Archon. Or hitting on 2s actually because of the turn. And wounding on probably 5s actually. Oof, that is minus more IP, but makes no difference to you.
Nope. And saves it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I get to hit back with the Tyranid Warriors and the Neurophrope. The Tyranid Warriors will die as soon as they hit back, but just check I'm actually half an inch. Well, just going to pile them in slightly. They do get to act as normal. And they're going to get 3 attacks each, hitting into the Witches. Again, I don't think it makes any difference. Obviously I'm going into, well, I couldn't go into the Succubus anyway, but it would have been my plan to go into the Witches anyway, simply because...
you might take them off.
Yeah, and you might have to take an out of action test with it. So we'll see how this goes. So yeah, 3 attacks each. And which one do I use? It makes no difference, does it? None whatsoever, because
I have a 4-up invul save.
it's your invul save. Then I will be using Scything Talons on them because I can re-roll the ones. Which is a good job I did. Hitting on 3s. Alrighty, that's better. Strength of 4 against your 3s, I think. Is it 3s or 4s? Yep. They're not the extra toughness
3s on these guys.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, on 3s. So yeah, 4 of them for your invuls. Oh, only takes 1. Well, not really good enough, but they will die now. And I get to go with a Neurophrope. I'm going to go into your Archon just because.
Yep.
Because I don't think he's going to hit her anyway. I don't think he hits on a 3. I'll double check, but
no, weapon skill 4.
Yep. So no, he fails. Do you have any morale to take?
I don't believe so. No, I've lost 1 unit from this, so they should be fine.
Yeah, they're fine. And they're the ones with the thing, aren't they?
They actually have the token on them.
Yeah. Okay.
So wrapping up Druhkari's turn 3, we've pretty much taken the board off now. It's basically a battle just to see if I can take the Warlord off the field. Oh, I believe I've forgotten about your Ripper Swarms.
You have. Not that they're going to do too much, they're really not, but you have
they're
forgotten
going to do
about
too
them.
much, but I have actually forgotten about the Ripper Swarms. So that is a thing. So yeah, we obviously the Ripper Swarms are going to be coming down in the next turn, the turn after, depending on whatever sneakery he's going to try pull. But I'm going to hopefully be taking out this Neotrope. He's proven to be a serious nuisance. Very difficult to take off the board with that 3-up save. So hopefully the Witches can get in there. They've just so many attacks that I'm just hoping that a volume attacks will finally take them down. So going to end the turn there and pass it over to you.
Tyranids turn 4. It's looking a bit of a hopeless situation in terms of actually winning the game now. What I'm going to be looking at is, I think even if I move a Neurophrope out of combat, you're still going to be able to charge me. So really what I want to be looking at is possibly using his smite, doing something to the Archon. So
Super smite?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I do have to roll. My bad, I have to roll as well to see if I take a mortal wound. I do.
Ooh, that could be a huge thing.
So that is a big thing.
It really is. Okay. Right, well, that's the end of a movement, apart from I am going to drop the Ripper Swarms down now. And I've got to drop them 9 inches away. I'll just drop them this way, make things easier. Could you just pull out 9 inches for me there? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter too much because we know that they're going to be charging anyway, so I'll just place them like that. In fact, I can just do them like that because they're just going to be charging in a minute. Okay, going into the psychic phase, this is the most important thing, I think. Neurothrope is going to go into the Archon with his smite. And I really could do with a super smite right now. It isn't a super smite. I don't think it's worth me wasting the points to try and roll it because it's an 11 that I need. So it's just going to be a normal smite. So D3 mortal wounds. 1 mortal wound. That was not the best. I could re-roll that one. No, I don't think I will because he's not going to do enough damage in the fighting anyway. If you're still around next turn, it may be a wise idea to roll it then. Okay, so there's going to be no shooting because the Neurothrope hasn't got any, and neither have the Ripper Swarms. But they will be charging into the Witches. The Witches will get to fight.
Are you not planning on doing the horror?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I am. Yeah, I will. I will do the horror. I'm going to do that into the... I can actually choose any unit. Now, as far as I can see here, unless you move out of combat, you're not going to be able to get... But I'm pretty sure you will just move out of combat so you can get the Succubus in. Now, I'm going to do it into these Witches here. See if I can keep these Ripper Swarm alive. So I'm going to try doing the horror into them Witches. Which it does go off. So they're -1 to their hitting, those Witches are.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, as I said, I'm going to go into the chat. Yeah, we already know it's 9 inches. So needing a 9-inch charge from those Ripper Swarm. Doesn't get it. I think I will re-roll that because it's kind of... I've got command points to spare and it would be nice if it went off. Doesn't go off, so they stay where they are. One thing that they do have, though, the Rippers... if I decide, when do I need to play this? I'll just check, because maybe I forgot to play this. Okay, so, oh, it's a, no, I needed to play it when they drop down, and because they've got something called Buried Threats, which is, as long as they remain stationary, add -1 to the hit roll for ranged, but I wouldn't have played it. I had to play it in the movement phase when they drop down. But I wouldn't have played it because they were planning to charge, so yeah, we can forget that one. End of the charge phase for the Tyranids, and yeah, it was an unsuccessful charge with the Ripper Swarm, and nothing else could happen. So now we're going to go straight into the fighting, and you're going to get to go first with either your Archon or your Cabalite Warriors first.
I'll try with the Archon, I suppose. So again, the 7 attacks. Rerolling misses. Wounding on 4s. Rerolling wounds. 6 wounds in total.
Okay. On freeze. Fails one of them and it's flat 3, isn't it?
3 damage, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to re-roll that. And saves it. Now I will get to go with him. I'm going to go into the Archon. I think it's very little chance, but I'm going to go into the Archon. Oh, it does hit. And I think that's a wound. No AP. Yep, saved it. No problem. Okay, over to Cabalite Warriors.
10 attacks. +1. These guys are hitting on 2s. Rerolling 1s. Wounding on 5s.
Okay. 3 ups. Oh, fails 3 of them, and I've got no rerolls I can do, so it's just 1 damage each, right?
Just 1 damage each.
Down to 1. And that was it. So end of Tyranids turn 4. Really doesn't look too much that I can do at the moment. However, never say never in a Crusade, because normally in a match play game at this stage I'd be giving up. But because we're playing Crusade and the out of action tests come into it, it's probably not a wise idea just to give up. But it is going to go into the Druhkari turn 4.
Going into Druhkari turn 4, I now have to look at taking this Neotrope off the map, and at the same time dealing with these Ripper Swarms if I want to maximize the amount of out of action tests that he's going to have to make. I do have 2 turns to do it though, so I'm pretty confident that I'm going to be able to take out this Neotrope. I just needed that 1 wound to him. Hopefully the witches can get in there and pile in some hits. And yeah, again, Succubus might get over here and do some damage. We're just going to have to roll the dice and see what happens. But I don't think there'll be a lot of thinking in this. It's just going to be just moving things over and getting them into position and fingers crossed getting he rolls below a 3. So we'll be back with you after the movement. So back after the movement, I've surrounded the Neotrope. I'm hoping to get all these witches in, get a few more attacks. Hopefully he just rolls at a 2 or a 1, and I knock him off the board. And the Succubus should be able to deal with these Ripper Swarms quickly. So I'm very quickly going to jump into the combat phase. I do have to start into the charge phase. I've moved them to in a position that they can't fail, so we're going to quickly just put them into combat.
You don't want to do any shooting?
I'm down. No shooting.
Okay.
No, I can shoot with the Raider, I suppose. No, it's just not important right now.
Okay.
I might as well get the kills on the Succubus, so she levels up a little bit faster. But yeah, and there's no shooting obviously here. Oh, the Archon can shoot actually. I'll just roll the Archon to see if he hits, because he's got a powerful weapon. He hits. He does not wound, so. Moving into the fight phase. So we have the witches down here. They have to fight first. Same with the Succubus and the other witches. So I'll just go with the Succubus and see how she does.
You need to charge these witches in, right?
Yeah, I think
they're auto in.
They're auto in.
Yeah, it's just as long as you push them against the thing. Yeah, they're fine.
It gets a bit janky here. That's why I was saying.
We'll just say we'll leave it as it is. They're all in. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Succubus does get her 10 attacks, hitting on 2s. Wow, no extra attacks this time though. Wounding on probably 2s. 7. Yeah, I think you've got 2 damage each, minus 3 AP.
Okay, well I can't save it, so that's going to be them dead.
2, 3. Yep, they're dead.
Okay. So see if you can take that 1 wound remaining off the new Drop. It should be more than possible.
I'll go in with the Archon. I'll start with actually.
Okay.
So I can try and level him up a little bit faster. Archon is getting 7. Oh no, I can't. Sorry, it has to be the witches.
Oh yes, it does.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These ones have the +1 strength though.
Okay.
And 4 attacks each. Hitting on 2s. Wounding on 4s. Yeah. 9 wounds. This should do it. Laws of average.
Come on, laws of average. Yeah, that does it. Nothing I can do about that. Okay, well, good game. So at the end of the game, it's a decisive win for the Druhkari. Not only have they got the mission objective at the end of the game, they have completely wiped the Tyranids off the board. Also, they have achieved all of the things that were necessary for our secondaries. I have achieved one of mine, so it's going to be quite a tight, quite a high scoring game for the Druhkari. I could see that this was going to happen. I still enjoyed the mission, though. It was quite strategic in the way that it worked. It wasn't just a matter of just killing them. There was things that I could do, but at the end of the day, just fell to the overpower of the Druhkari.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite game modes that we've played. It's quite interesting. You never know how it's going to go. If you had rolled a 5 at the start of that game and taken that point, I would have been playing a very more. I had to play way more aggressive at the start. I think we both were very cagey. We both were kind of hiding away.
Well,
I think maybe the positioning
as soon as
points,
I turned this one over, it was you had to play aggressive at that point.
Fight for the middle. But that's what Druhkari are good at. You know, they've got movement. They can push objectives like that. I think the trick is sometimes you want to catch them out in the open, which is quite hard when they're in raiders and stuff. But yeah, once that middle opened up and that became the centerpiece, I mean, it was you know, all hands on deck and everyone had to get in there and try to do their job. So I think it worked out quite well. I tried out some tricks with Druhkari I hadn't tried before. Being able to push the raider up pretty much the length of the map and charge your warlord at the start was it was super fun. And yeah, it kept the raider alive too. It meant that you're not able to shoot him with your exocrine, and you can see the damage that exocrine. If it gets that shot in at the start of the game on a different map where I wouldn't be able to hide something, you get that turn one shot. You know, you can knock it off the board very quickly. So yeah, really, really, really powerful unit. The ability to shoot twice, you know, it's very strong. And I don't know how much points are we looking at for this. This is 170 points. It is expensive. It's definitely not cheap.
I think it's one of the better units of the Tyranids. I really do.
Yeah, the toughness 8 as well. Like it's very rare that I have to roll a 4 to wound when I'm shooting my dark light weapons.
Yep.
I'm very used to, you know, hitting on the 3s and wounding on the 2s with a dark lance and been able to easily pump out, you know, minimum 4 damage. So now that that's gone up to hitting, it's like a 50% chance of getting that wound. So yeah, I'm going to see myself using a lot of rerolls on killing these things.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and then they get the invul save after. So they really can be quite a difficult unit to take off the map.
Absolutely. Well, it was a fun game. We shall see you back in a few minutes once we've cleaned up the board to do our out of action tests. Okay, so we come back to do our out of action tests. The Druhkari have only lost 1 unit, so only 1 out of action test for that. But I will need to take them on all of mine. So do you want to start with yours?
Yeah. Okay. So on a 1.
And you do get it.
I got one.
And it is going to take a battle scar, because if you have seen our Crusade planning video, we have introduced a house rule that they can't take the devastating blow, I think it's called, where they don't get any experience points if they've got no experience on them. So we'll put that dice next to him. Then I shall roll for all of mine. So starting with my Neurophrope, who also fails. Oh, this is going to be a
dice are broken today.
Then going on to my Hormagaunts, who pass it. Ripper Swarms, who pass it. Tyranid Warriors, who pass it. Lictor, who passes it just. And the Exocrine, who passes it. So we're looking at rolling the out of action, the battle scars for both the Raider and for the Neurophrope. Now it's time to roll the battle scars for the units that have failed the out of action test. So we're going to be rolling off the chart on the core book. So if you'd like to go first, Owen, and I'll tell you what it is.
Okay. 4.
Weapon damaged. Select 1 weapon equipped by a vehicle model in this unit. If it has ranged weapons, you must select 1 of them. If any of those are heavy, then you must select 1 of them. So any range that are heavy, you've got to select. Subtract 1 from hit and wound rolls when resolving attacks with that weapon.
Ow, that's very rough.
It is.
That's the worst. Definitely not what I wanted, but that's what it is.
Okay.
So yeah.
I shall roll for my Neurothrope. Got a 5. Deep concussion. You cannot use any stratagems to affect this unit, nor can you use the command reroll stratagem to affect any dice made for this unit. That is pretty rough as
Ooh.
well.
That's a little bit rough, yeah, because you got that 3-up invul save, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
And no stratagems on it. I don't know if you use much stratagems on that.
Well,
unit.
I can't use command rerolls, and I've been using command rerolls
Yeah.
to keep him alive. So
They're big, yeah.
okay, we'll see you back in a minute, and I'll go through the rest of the steps with giving experience, and we'll have a look at my sheets. So this is the order of battle at the end of battle, and we're just going to go through, for this first game, we're going to go through the steps that we've got here, just so you can see how this all looks in the Crusade. So I think you've seen these order of battles when we showed you in the planning, but it works like this, that we're ending the battle, we determine the victor, we've done that. Now we're going to update the Crusade cards. First thing is taking the out of action test, we've done that already. Then updating the experience points. So the first thing that we're going to be updating is on each of the units that played in this battle, they get 1 experience point each. Now I am actually going to note down also that they fought 1 battle and battle survived. It's going to be 0 for me. So yep, if you do that too, Owen, on yours, so they fought 1 battle, survived, yeah, whoever's survived. Yep. I'm also going to write down my battle scar at this moment, which was deep concussion. What I find is useful to put a page reference as well, so I don't have to write it all up. No stratagems, no. And that is page 325 on core. Okay. So then Gene Stealers didn't play in this match. Ripper Swarm will get 1 experience. Tyranid Warriors will get 1 experience. The Lictor will get 1 experience. The where did I put them? Hormagaunts will get 1 experience. And the Exocrine will get 1 experience. It's also worth noting that I forgot to do just then, I'll do that now, is on the Neurothrope, he actually, even though, he had no Crusade points, so you can't go less than 0, so it's not going to make any difference. But in theory, because he's got a battle scar, he would go down a Crusade point, but seeing as you can't go less than 0, it's not going to affect it. But if he goes up, this time maybe he will. So are you ready with your battle experience?
Just finishing it off now.
Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is select 1 unit that is marked for greatness. And I will be giving that, he did achieve his agenda, so I will be giving that to my Neurothrope. And you give him 3 experience points, so I'll take him up to 4. I'll just fill in the rest of these while waiting for Owen to decide what he's doing.
I'm going to give my mark for greatness to my raider.
Okay. Great. Then the next thing that we got is something called Dealers of Death. My Exocrine did kill something, and it was killing something with a ranged weapon. And how this works is, for every 3 kills that they make, they get an extra experience point. Now, I'm not going to get one here, but does that affect any of yours, Owen?
Yeah, actually, one of my witches, I think they got 4 kills, if I counted correctly. So yeah, it's going to bring them up to, well, they're going to bring them over their Dealers of Death, so they got 4 kills on that. So they get their 1 experience from it.
Yep. And then we do our agendas. Now, both Reaper and the Lord of Warp, which is the agenda that I took on my Psyker, that is going to give us 2 experience points. So I'm going to be getting another 2 experience points onto my Neurophrope, which should level him up. So it does. So for when you gain experience points, and the first rank is Bloodied, when you gain those experience points, if you go up a level, you can take a... there's different things you can take. You can take a Battle Honour, where you roll off from a chart from it. You can take a weapon enhancement. You can take a Crusade relic. Has any of yours gone up?
Currently, nothing has gone up. No.
Okay. Well, my Neurophrope has gone up, and I'm pretty sure I know already what I'm going to take with him. I'm going to take something called Laurels of Victory.
It's the extra command points.
Yeah, so what this
start
is
of the game?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I put that in the wrong place, but I'll just cut that and place that down here. So what that's... Whoops, that's suddenly gone very big. Let's just change that around. Okay, so what that is going to give him is that I get a free extra command points at the start of a turn. Start of a game. Is it 3 extra command points or is it 2? Let me just double check in the... Yes, it gives me 2 bonus command points. But also, once he's killed, I do lose those 2 command points immediately. Obviously, if I've got no command points to lose, it's not going to affect me. But if I lost him earlier on, I would just lose those 2 straight away. Okay, and he will go up a Crusade point, but because of a battle scar that I've got, he will remain at 0 Crusade points, so that kind of evens itself out. So that's pretty good. Okay.
Can you go into minus Crusade points?
I don't believe you can now. Or I think at least we should call that you can't. It doesn't make sense to be working in minuses. Sorry, what was that?
No, I agree. It's a bit too quirky.
Yeah, I agree. It starts to get confusing. So determine battle honours. So we've done that. Update the combat tallies. So if you've updated all your battles fought and such like, what we need to do is on the main page we're going to get a requisition point each out of this. And I'm going to put 1 battle and battles 1 and 0, and it's going to be battles 1 1 for you. The update the order of... Yep, add the 1 to the requisition point. The only thing that remains before we have a look at the scores of this so far is that you're going to get your victory bonus, which the victory bonus for this mission is the victor can select 1 of their units in their order of battle. If that unit can gain a battle honour, it gains a weapon enhancement of the victor's choice.
Yeah, I believe I'm going to go with autoloader and give it to my raider that's not crippled. His gun is completely crippled at the moment.
Yeah, makes sense. As we discussed in our planning, that we're rolling from the charts for everything, apart from if you get it for a victory bonus, where we will be choosing. So yeah, if you make sure that you've got that noted down.
Yep, I've got that down on my list already.
Okay. Right, and then just cut this bit out while I just switch the screens, and I'll give it some silence. So I'm just going to go to fact, I need to open the drive up, so... I'm still recording, but I'm just going to open this up and... because again, I don't want them to see my address bar. Okay, got it open, so I'll go back into recording. I'll give it some silence. So this is a scoreboard at the end of our first mission. So the Dark Eldar won one of them, and that's going to give them 2 points for the victory points for the mission. They also killed the Warlord. The Warlord wasn't killed by the Tyranids. The Dark Eldar got 75% kill. Tyranids didn't, and we both got all agendas achieved. So at the end of that first exciting match in our Crusade, the score is 5-1 to the Dark Eldar. Seems like a lot at the moment, but as we start getting to those higher point ranks, I think we're going to see the Tyranids come into their own after that.
Yeah, on these lower point games, I definitely feel like the Druhkari are kind of coming out ahead. They just have such punchy units for such a cheap price, and I can get quite a lot of them on the board. But I know when you start seeing some of your bigger clumps of Hive Guard and stuff like that, who can just, you know, shoot my ships basically off the board in one go, that's when we'll see the difference. When I'm trying to get my troops up the field on foot, getting picked off, and you got good close combat too. So if you get a few Gene Stealers in there, big groups of them, you know, a horde. It is a horde army in general, right, Tyranids?
It certainly used to be. However, the meta kind of for 9th edition has turned them a little bit into a shooty army. There's still a horde army in theory, but we'll have to see how that plays out. I'm excited to see when the Codex comes out for Tyranids and what differences is going to be, because they've always been intended as a horde army, but in 9th edition they're not always playing as such. So yeah, when that new Codex comes out, we'll have to see what sort of changes are intended in there. I'd expect to turn them back into a horde army, but we'll see. I don't expect that Codex to be coming out for some time, so we'll have to see how that works.
Yeah, we have to wait a good few months for that Druhkari Codex to arrive. It kept getting pushed back and back. I think with COVID, obviously everything is been slowed down and things aren't running as smoothly as I'd like. But they got it out, so I'm delighted.
Yeah, well, it was a good game. I'm looking forward to our next match. I'll have to decide if I make any changes to my order going into the next match. But again, I've got quite a lot of things on my order of battle at the moment, and we do muster our armies after we've seen the mission. So there may be a point where I decide to take a different loadout depending on what the mission is. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But anyway, thanks for the game, Owen, and I look forward to the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this first mission in our Crusade. If you've got any comments, we'd love to hear them, especially if you've got any ideas of how I can beat this Dark Eldar army at 500 points. Please do like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notified of our next matches coming up, and we look forward to seeing you then.